Welcome to Eyes and Teeth Future Stars. I first met Jay Rawlings when he was in the dressing room of his father Steve on a few shows we were working on together. Of course, we all know Steve Rawlings, complete legend, and Jay is now out there and performing after growing up watching his father work. And you can see Jay's passion for juggling, magic, record breaking, balance and tricks. They both have chins of steel and are the nicest guys in the business. At one time, I did send some ventriloquist advice to Jay in his early years, and he took it on board, but the magic and record breaking took over. That's the thing about this business, you will find your path, and you'll know exactly what it is you want to do, and I'm really pleased to hear of Jay's success. We talk about Britain's Got Talent and Jay's constant passion for breaking records, such as most CDs or DVDs thrown into a target in 1 minute. Longest duration balancing a guitar on the chin. Longest duration balancing a chainsaw on the chin. I assume he balances it from the handle end. I'm pleased to introduce to you to Eyes and Teeth, the brilliant talent that is Jay Rawlings.
Hello, mate.
Hello, Jay. How are you, buddy?
I'm very good. Yourself?
Yeah, great, thanks. Thanks for doing this. You must be missing your dad at the moment. He's gone away for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's bizarre because he's always travelling and doing shows here, there and everywhere. But during lockdown, we got used to having him at home.
I know.
And now he's off again for 6 months, which you'd
Wow.
think if there was one time you were safe to have him at home, it was during a global lockdown. But no.
Wow. Nothing will stop Steve Rawlings, eh?
Well, exactly.
That's amazing. But it's so nice that he's the one that's been trusted to do this, because he's obviously well respected, isn't he, your dad? And so let's hope all of that just continues from now on to be a good thing. And
Oh, yeah.
he's the man for the job.
Well, yeah, he was so happy to have been picked for it. It was because he tends to get the shakes from not doing the shows for a little bit.
Really?
All the
Wow.
adrenaline.
Yeah, all that energy and adrenaline. I guess you need that, don't you, to be on stage? A few comedians have said that, they're missing the adrenaline of not being up there. And what else do? And you just sit there and watch other people do it on telly or on YouTube. It's crazy times, mate. But I hope you're well, mate, and yourself. You're all good?
Yeah, I'm keeping well. Yeah, keeping going in the meantime, keeping myself busy.
Good for you. Did you have anything lined up this month?
Well, it depends how far back you're talking. I was going to have my first pantomime, which you helped me with. Very
Oh,
kindly.
I'm so gutted. So
Yeah,
that's not going
I
ahead.
know.
Where was it?
That was the Redditch one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Midlands,
managed
wasn't
to
it?
get the lead comic. Very first pantomime.
Oh,
I was so
mate.
happy. I was
Well, I tell
really
you
looking
what.
forward to it.
Oh, well, it'll be on next year, won't it? Definitely. So you'll get that. At least you've got a year to learn the script now. That's kind of
Exactly.
reassuring. Oh, bless you,
But
mate.
yeah, so many things got cancelled this year.
Oh, I know. And I was so chuffed to hear that you got that panto. It's so nice to. Was it Paul Holman?
Yes, that's the one.
Ah, bless. But he's great. I'm so glad he took you on. It's brilliant. Good news.
Oh yeah, they're great people.
I mean, we used to catch up with your dad a lot on the ships or on land. We used to do a lot of shows together, and then he became a member of the Water Rats, and so now your dad is my brother, which is amazing. It's lovely.
Yeah, fellow Ratling.
Yes, small world. And so that's really nice that we have that connection. And your dad used to talk about you a lot. We used to do shows. I said, how's Jay doing? Oh yeah, he's learning the business. He's learning my act. He's learning to juggle. He's doing magic, and he's so proud of you. He always had, moments of proud of my son, and he's so good at what he's doing. He's putting his heart into it. But when did your interest in your dad's job become your future?
It's sort of the whole time when I was growing up. I guess growing up, we always travelled around together wherever he was off working. Because, as you know, this job can take you here, there and everywhere. And I do remember when I was about 4, we went out to a festival in Canada where he was working.
Wow.
And I spent the summer just volunteering to try and be in everyone's show.
Oh,
So whether it was
amazing.
handing someone something, just whatever I could do. And I think I managed it pretty much. And there was one person in his show, I think he balanced like a teddy bear on his head or something. And I sort of said offhandedly to my dad, could you do that with me? Because I knew he was really good at balancing. And in a normal family, that'll probably be the end of it. But yeah, that's then basically came up with the idea of balancing me on a chair on his chin. He got together with all the performers, and they basically bullied my mum into letting them try it. And she insisted that everyone was around in a circle ready to catch me if anything went wrong.
Oh, incredible.
And we did it. It worked.
It did.
And I travelled around with him doing that in the show for quite a while.
How old were you?
A while ago.
Yeah, how old were you then? Would you say you were 4 when you were in
yes.
Canada? Your earliest memory of showbiz. I wasn't expecting you to go that far. Wow.
Yeah, well, I've just grown up with it and I've loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
There's still some videos on YouTube of me doing this balance with him.
I was just going to ask. I was going to ask if there was photographs of that, but there is actually videos we can look at of your dad doing that with you.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I think the video was live at the Hackney Empire.
Wow.
I can't remember. Like, it was way before my time, so all I know is what he told me.
Your dad really does take it on the chin, doesn't he? He's. I am worried about your dad's chin because in the lockdown he done a shopping trolley. You haven't tried the shopping trolley yet, have you? Did you have a go?
I had a quick go at it, but
Tesco's.
It's really hard to pick it up. And
yeah,
it's like a really awkward angle.
It's
and
heavy.
You quickly realise there's no easy way to get it down either.
Did you have to help Dad, don't you? You didn't get it down afterwards, or
no? He just sort of...
He froze it, didn't he?
It sort of launches itself off.
He kind of froze it and runs out of the way.
Yeah, well, it sort of just drops off and you've got to let it do its thing and bounce.
Yeah, wow.
I ended up bruising my fingers one time, like trying to slow its descent down.
Has he ever tried it with full of shopping? Or is it just... not yet?
Well, you kind of have to balance it upside down, so the shopping would kind of have to be on the underneath of the trolley.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And maybe just with marshmallows, trolley full of marshmallows. It's not too heavy.
Duct tape them in.
Well, I'm sure you live around duct tape, don't you? Always taping up props and stuff. So I guess all your furniture at home and it all must be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dad, put that sofa down. So you've been around it, Jay, haven't you, for so long, and you must have been watching in awe of your dad. But you're in the act now. Now I know that you were in the act from an early age. When did you start getting into the magic? Because I know you do great magic as well.
So yeah, I was learning the juggling first from my dad, and I was looking at other things to do, and I was sort of getting pulled in all different directions. And I remember for a while I was sure it was ventriloquism I was going to do.
Yeah, we all go through that.
I got some lessons off you, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, oh bless you. Yeah, we all go through that at some point. Then we grow up.
One day I will come back to it. It's just finding time to do all these different things.
Well, you're busy.
It's when you just love performing and you want to do all these different things. You see all these amazing performers. And my dad introduced me to a guy called Dave Brown. Did you ever know Dave?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's done his back in now, so he's not really able to do shows at the moment, but fantastic magician. And when I was first introduced to him, I didn't even know how to hold a pack of cards. I was that level. And but he kept teaching me stuff, and I learned more and more. And eventually it went into the show, and I love magic, and I do close-up magic in shows, whatever it is. Just here, there, and everywhere. But
your dad said that you have. It's like a table that's attached to you, isn't it? You do walk about magic. You've got like a system that is like a backpack, but a magic table or box. It sounds really clever.
Oh, thank you. It's a miniaturised theatre. So if you think, I guess sort of Teletubby style, if you think around my chest, I've got sort of this box in front of me, and I've got 2 arms around the side holding it up, and then my hands come through the curtain, so I've got sort of 4 sets of hands, and I do magic on the little miniature stage.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
wow.
So it's a different take on it, and what I love about it is it sort of attracts people's eyes and they sort of get drawn in.
Yeah.
As opposed to having to come up to someone and then persuade them, no, I'm not a nutter, I've actually been hired to do magic and this is what you should watch. It's just like, okay, come on, what's this about then?
Oh, that's incredible. Did you build that yourself?
So the initial idea, Dave came up with this idea, and when he couldn't do it anymore because of his back, he passed it on to me.
Right.
So then I started doing that and learning to perform that as I got better with the magic. And now I've got all sorts of those theatres. I've got a Globe Theatre one, I've got a Castle. I've got all sorts, Christmas, Halloween.
Oh, what a fab idea.
Like the Globe Theatre one's hardly got an outing, unfortunately.
All right.
It's just finding the right gigs. So I'm happy with what I've got at the moment, but if anything comes up,
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to look at it again.
Yeah.
And yeah, just been keeping myself busy with random records and all sorts.
Yeah, amazing. We'll get onto the records shortly. Have you been to the Magic Convention at all?
Blackpool?
The Blackpool Magic Convention. Yeah, I went this year for the whole thing, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Mainly just to see loads of friends, you know, but because we all know mutual friends in the business. But it's just such a great place to be, and you see juggling, magic, vent. There's so much illusions and stuff. Have you been there just to go shopping, or you've not had the chance to get there yet?
No, I've been there, I think, a couple of years. I didn't do the last year. But yeah, between that and the juggling conventions, I sort of try to catch them when I can. But, you know, even if I had one gig in the year, it's probably going to fall on that day.
Yeah.
Eyes and teeth.
I'm really impressed with your father's performing his act in different languages. It really blew me away. The early day, like 2003, 2004, I worked on Royal Caribbean with him, and he done a show in Spanish, German, and I just couldn't believe it. And has he passed on the lingo gene to yourself?
Yeah, I don't think anyone could have as much of an ear for it as he has. But I've got the German down now, so I can do the whole show in full German. And, you know, there's a lot of talking in the show, and I can keep that up. But if you tried to have a conversation with me, I'd struggle a bit.
But if you're
He's
heckled...
pretty much fluent.
Yeah. If you're heckled by somebody in the German audience, would you be able to come back with has he taught you some comeback lines with that? And would you understand a heckler?
I sometimes will understand. It depends what they say, because also if it's sort of quiet, even in English, you can sometimes not quite hear what they're saying.
Oh yeah, the drunk German would be even harder.
But yeah, I know little bits, but quite often I'll just come back in English, and they'll normally understand, and if not, they get that I don't actually know what they said. And it just works. And they know you're an English person speaking German, so there's sort of different expectations on how you're going to come back.
Of course, yeah. So where have you worked today? I mean, when I started out, it was holiday parks in my early 20s. Have you touched on holiday parks yet, or have you gone straight into sort of galas and stuff? You work abroad as well, but have you done holiday parks?
Yeah, I've done a whole bunch of holiday parks, and if we're talking different stuff, like started out sort of even before doing stage shows and doing close-up magic in like shopping centres, and then you sort of work your way indoors to hotels and things like that, and then more recently I've been doing cruise ships, and I did one in China, bizarrely enough, to a Chinese audience, which was just before the sort of lockdown.
Was it last year?
That was New Year this year, technically.
Yeah. Oh, incredible.
So I got lucky on that one.
Yeah, you got out there in time.
And festivals, theatres all around, just, wherever the work comes, really, and just love performing.
Yeah, I mean, summer seasons of variety shows are quite scarce these days, but where do you, that's where you've honed your act then, just doing whatever shows you can do, sort of, in the holiday scene and, you know, the hotels and corporates. Have you done any talent shows at all? I used to do loads when I was your age, sort of talent shows from the age of sort of 16 to 22. I used to just turn up, because there was never a ventriloquist. There was only singers, there was only dancers, or, you know, so there was maybe a comedian, but I would be the only ventriloquist or speciality act. So have you done any of those?
I had the exact same thing at school. There was a bursary, and it turned out it was actually a music bursary. But they were looking for people doing different skills, but obviously it being a school one, pretty much everyone just sung. And I came in and I did magic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I ended up winning the music bursary, which was bizarre. And I think I got £50 and I spent it on a Diablo.
Oh, wow. Straight back into the act.
Well, yeah, exactly. And for everyone who'd won like some form of the bursary, they did sort of a big show, and everyone was singing all this stuff. And then I come on and I juggle fire blindfolded. Everyone didn't know what was happening, but they loved it, and it was just so different. Everyone's doing these very serious songs,
arias,
I come on, I've got my blindfold, my torches. I hand a lighter to someone in the audience saying my mum doesn't let me use matches.
And then you set your head alight.
No, I just blindfolded myself, lit the torches, and juggled fire.
Wow, that's incredible, mate. I mean, the not just learning different languages, but the constant rehearsals you have to do as a juggler or as a magician or as a record breaker as well. It must be constantly rehearse. You wake up, rehearse, and then go to bed, and wake up, rehearse. You must be learning new things every day.
Yeah, I try and keep up on it best I can. But yeah, it's weird with the juggling. It's very different to something like the magic. There's like a base level with the magic that you'll always come back and you'll be at that level. Whereas the juggling, if you don't do it for a while, it goes way down.
Yeah.
You can just start thinking like, did I ever used to be able to do this?
So it
You
must
can't
be.
let it go.
Yeah, it must be a constant thing. I kind of worry because I've not been on stage for 5 weeks now, and I go back to stage tomorrow night, and you kind of worry about the technique because you have to, as a ventriloquist, you have to keep constantly ventriloquizing, and I've done that for 33 years, and I'm proud to say I'm okay at it technically, so I'm a little bit worried.
More than okay.
Yeah, well, I kind of worry that it might not be there in the future because I've not been doing it for so long. So yeah, it is something you need to keep up, isn't it? The art of what you do. I mean, it's important to still be the best you can be when you go out there. So.
Ooh, con classy.
Yeah, definitely, and like how to react to the audience and sort of who to pick out the audience and all that stuff.
Yeah,
just got to keep up on that. But do you go around the house just talking to yourself then to keep up the?
Luckily, my kids are in here, so I have someone to talk to. But I have done a lot of online stuff this year, and at the beginning, the first 2 months, it was a lot event related, and then I started to do podcasts, and so it's just me talking. I'm moving my lips when I'm talking to you right now. So the technique, I've not actually sat down once since I last worked on stage. Maybe that's bad of me. I have done a few birthday messages, and so I'm venting then, and I am checking in the mirror, and before I send the videos back, I do double check my lips aren't moving, and but you do have that little worry, don't you, that, oh, what if I can't do it anymore? And so, but I think you'll be fine because you're learning something new all the time. Now, I saw you smash this record-breaking set on Britain's Got Talent. Was that last year? 19?
Yeah, 2019, so last year.
Gone so quick. And it was very well received, and we were so behind you and chuffed that you were on it. You went down brilliant.
Thank you.
But you should have made it to the live shows, and I was expecting to see you again because what you do is so unique and gripping. But when there's a timer, it's exciting for the audience, you know. And so I was quite surprised that you didn't get on the live shows. But can you just explain to the people listening what you did on Britain's Got Talent?
Well, I broke my very first Guinness World Record. So basically, I did the most chairs balanced on the chin at the same time.
Wow.
But yeah, I so thought that wasn't going to happen. I found out sort of later on it was season 13.
Yes. Oh. Are you superstitious?
No. But yeah, everything that could have gone wrong before it did.
Really?
And yeah, because when I applied to do it, the plan was the world record was currently 5 chairs.
Yes.
So I trained up, I made sure I knew how to stack it all together, and I was planning to do 6. But then, 5 days before, we're talking through things with the Guinness people, just checking how it's going to work, and they sort of offhandedly said, oh, by the way, do you know that the world record is now 9?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Pressure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll sort that. And then I had to panic and quickly go out and buy new chairs because the ones I had, you couldn't stack that high.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you've seen the video, like people listening at home, I've sort of got this big, massive chairs on my chin. So I had to quickly get the chairs, try and practice with it, work out how to stack it in just like a few days.
Yeah.
And then I'd been practicing it so much that my jaw was really hurting on the day.
Oh, no.
So the whole time in the back of my head, it's like, what if it doesn't work? What if I can't actually do this? Because they've got the Guinness people there.
Oh,
so
God.
if it doesn't work,
yeah,
they're still probably going to show it.
No pressure.
We got snowed in on the day, like trying to come down, had to dig the car out.
Wow.
I was just so glad it worked out on the day.
Well, how many chairs did you do on the actual show?
Yeah, so the world record was 9, and
Okay.
I thought, if you're going to go for it big. And I did 11.
Oh, good on ya. Took it on the chin. I'm going to keep doing that line.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, mate. That's brilliant. But
Which is, yeah, they never tell you anything before you get on there, though, do they?
No.
Because I expected to sort of get like a quick talk, like tell you how it's going to work. But you sort of get to the side, they do a quick talk with you, and then there's like the star on the middle of the stage. It's like, okay, I guess that's where I was supposed to stand.
yeah.
But what they hadn't told me is, like, the Guinness person came on the other side of the stage. It's like, oh, okay, I guess it's a circuit. So the next person comes round. So then I go off the wrong side of the stage.
Oh.
At the end, and then someone like waves at me. It's like, no, it's the other way, and I just quickly ran back. Yeah, straight onto the TV. Yeah.
Straight to the camera.
Yeah.
Get a little bit more airtime. You've got a whole list of stuff here. I need to talk these through. And I mean, the way your dad performs, you know, balancing on his chin and stuff. I do worry about both of your chins. You know, it must be. They're not weakening, are they? They're. I mean, did you exercise your chin? How do you actually make sure that you're safe?
I don't know if it's safe, really. I tend to work sort of just going with the heavier stuff, and you sort of build up that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when you first learn and you start getting onto the heavier stuff, like the first time you do like one chair or something like that, you start to get, it's going to sound gross, but sort of like a callus on your chin, like the skin sort of...
Like a violinist would get on the neck,
Yeah.
I guess, on the...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, as you sort of get closer to your overall limits, it starts to hurt in your jaw, and the sort of pain works the way around. And as it comes up from your jaw right towards like the top of your head, that's when you know you really have to stop. And there's one thing I get that my dad never got, which I don't know if it's just me or what, but with the big chair balance, it's so heavy that my ears start ringing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no joke. It just starts ringing, and I have no idea why. It's probably not good.
No, it doesn't sound good. But ringing the ears.
Sign, but yeah.
Unless it's your agent saying, "Well done, let's get you on another show."
just
calling.
plugged him in straight into my ears.
Yeah. So most chairs balance on the chin. Nailed it. The longest duration balancing a lawnmower on the chin, not powered, so it's not plugged in. But so what's this?
So that one was at the Glastonbury Festival.
Wow.
We did it outside, so I decided the non-powered version was probably the safest. So it's like one of those old sort of push mowers, but it has to be like a certain weight and all these things. And I had the idea that what if you did 2 world records at the same time?
Okay.
And so I did the longest duration and the furthest distance travelled.
So you walked around with it on your chin?
Yeah. So have you been to Glastonbury?
No, not yet. I know they now have comedy festival there. They have like comedy tent and variety tent. They have, do they? Or cabaret? Were you in the cabaret?
Yeah, it's very different to other festivals. Literally, you can go there and just listen to comedy and do like. They have like a circus big top and all this, and you can have a full festival and never even hear any music. Yeah,
I'd love to do it.
They've really gone all in on the performers, and there's a field outside, and there's this giant trapeze in the middle of it, and it's open, so lots of people are walking by all the time. And around this sort of giant trapeze area is where we did the record. So we had an announcer who was talking everyone through it, and we planned it all out. And I was saying, like, okay, let's make sure it's not sort of midday, because then I'll be looking straight into the sun. And sure enough, the time we ended up going for was midday, when I was looking straight into the sun.
Oh, no.
And it's sort of a theme with all these records of things just going wrong. But yeah, it seemed like such a good idea. I've been practicing for it. And we get there, we start off with it. I had a plan that there was going to be someone with a big pole with a GoPro on it, and I was going to be sort of watching that.
Yeah.
But there was a misunderstanding, so they just had a handheld one. So okay, sure, we'll make it work. And I had someone who was giving me instructions anyway of which way to turn, left or right.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, this is going to be fine. Okay, let's go for it. So he announces, okay, let's go. And everyone just cheered. And it was at that point I realised that everyone was cheering so loud, I couldn't hear the person giving me instructions.
Oh, no.
So I start going forward. She's desperately like saying, okay, left. just about here, like turning round slowly and very gingerly. It's in a big open field, so the wind's like blowing like anything.
Blimey.
And it's starting to twist it round, so I'm like pulling it back on my chin as I'm walking round.
It doesn't sound like the easiest thing to practice, you know. It's especially when
No.
you got a crowd cheering you on as well, and
Exactly.
to do
I'm
it.
just so worried, like, please tell me this works. And the bit that made my heart sink was she was giving me directions and she got her lefts and rights mixed up, just completely innocently. And I ended up getting walked into a sandwich board towards the audience, and I desperately like catch it, just about cling it back, and then carry on. Luckily, it all worked. It was fantastic. But yeah, I've never been so nervous in my life, except maybe on BGT.
Yeah, well, BGT, Glastonbury, you smashed them. And now I'm getting to one of my favourites, the most, toilet paper rolls balanced on the head. Now, firstly, it's you that took all the toilet rolls in March. And secondly,
All me.
and you broke this on Heart Breakfast radio, yeah? Obviously, we didn't see, but we do believe that you did it because it was radio. But it's like a ventriloquist on the radio, right?
Yeah, they did upload the video, so it's not
Oh,
just my word
brilliant.
for it. And they had the Guinness official all there. We were video chatting with everyone so we could verify it at the time.
Fantastic. So how many was the record and how many did you do?
So the world record was 16. And yeah, I got a little bit carried away with it, and I did 56.
What, 40 on top of what you're supposed to?
Yeah.
Did you take them out of the packets? Because I know you do them in. You can buy them in packets of 24. You didn't just have 3 packets on your head.
No, you
all
can't do it like that, yeah.
separated.
Yeah, they're all completely separated. In fact, when we were doing, because before we went sort of live to the studio and all that, we did all the confirmation to count out the toilet rolls, make sure it was all official, so we didn't have to do that live on air. And
Wow.
I counted it through with him, and I went, okay, so that's 56. He's like, okay, so you're doing all 56. I went, yes. He said, you know that the world record's 16? Yes.
You don't have to work so hard.
Full,
Yeah.
The whole record doesn't count. It's like, yes. And you're sure you want to do this?
Just go for 20. No, I'm going to do another 40.
Yeah.
Wow. So you are.
To make it easy for myself. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you are smashing them. You're not just breaking them; you're smashing them, and
thank you.
and I love that. Well done. That's brilliant. But how do you have to take an adjudicator to all of these? They have to be official record breaker judges. Is that right?
So it depends. If you have the official from Guinness, there you can get it confirmed at that moment. And I've had that. That was only for the Britain's Got Talent and the Heart Radio one so far.
Right.
And then apart from that, you can video it. You have all your independent witnesses as well. You have like multiple angles and everyone signing sort of affidavits and all that.
Yeah.
And then you send it in, and then like a few months later, they'll confirm it, and it all becomes official.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done most of the records that way, and that's how you can do it during lockdown. Because even if you wanted an official, they can't even come here.
No, that's true. I was just imagining you like practicing the toilet rolls at home in your toilet, and there's another man in there with you, sort of counting. Just can you just let me finish before you write that down? But
Yeah, I think you'd have to pay him a lot more to come to that sort of a
I think so. What has been your favourite one to do that you don't mind, that doesn't hurt as much, but has been really good fun?
Oh God, there's all sorts. One that was just silly, and I quite enjoyed just the ridiculousness of it, was the most fidget spinners spun by an individual. Which it sounds quite normal, like they're all laid out on a table and you just spin them really fast. It's like, okay, that's fine. But then you get the specifications through, and it's like, no, each of those spinners has to be spun somewhere on your body and sort of freestanding, so you can't be holding on to it. Yeah, and the world record at the time was 15. Yeah, so
there's not many platforms. Yeah, there's not many platforms to balance fidget spinners on you. So where would you put 15? And I'm interested to know how many you did.
Yeah, so I ended up with 4 on each foot, 2 sort of up my legs, then 1 on each knee, and then I did sort of 3 in one hand and 1 in the other. I think the math works out on that. I don't know if I've forgotten any, but I did 18 in the end.
Wow, well done.
Well, thank you. But yeah, it was just crazy. And The hardest part about it was if any of them stopped for any reason, the whole attempt didn't count. So it's not like plate spinning when you can like sort of speed it up or something.
Yeah,
or
you can go back and speed it up. I've seen Andrew Van Buren do that, and so that you can't do that. If once it finishes, that's the record's over.
Yeah, and they all have to spin for a full 20 seconds after they're all spinning.
Yeah.
So you have to get them all going fast. And if you have one bad spin, you have to start right the way at the beginning.
Wow. And did you do it on the first attempt?
It may have taken me a few attempts at this.
Yeah, okay.
That might have taken me multiple days to get that one right.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, do you...
Even once I practice,
are these already in the Guinness Book of Records, or do you come up with the ideas, the titles of how do you come up with most tea bags thrown into mugs in 30 seconds? Because I mean, I do that in dressing rooms when I'm waiting to go on. So, but I've never done that. I've never done it that quick. But yeah, you know, these are things you come up for maybe when you're bored or just when you're feeling creative, you know. But have you come up with your own ones?
Believe it or not, I haven't done a single record that I've come up with myself.
Okay, I'm sure you will.
Records are ones that already existed and somebody else held it.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're competitive. Then you want to beat their scores, you know, and that's nothing wrong with that. That's brilliant. You know, it gives you a great goal to go for, isn't it? Is that what you like to do? You just want to be a record breaker? I mean, you are a record breaker, but is it just the want of being the best at that you want to?
Yeah, it's a bizarre feeling knowing that technically, no, you are the best in the world at something, at least for this moment in time. And yeah, I sort of got the bug from it from Britain's Got Talent, and then also passed the bug on to my family. My dad started getting involved, and we got a bit competitive there, like trying to get more and more records, because he started catching up with me quite quickly.
Yeah, on YouTube or Facebook, he was posting quite a lot of them, you know, and I could see you both in the garden, you're helping each other out, and it's such a great relationship you got with Steve. It's so nice to see father and son hanging out, and but you're spurring each other on, you know. You're making history, obviously, in those record books, but it's just so nice to see your, you know, camaraderie together, which is nice.
Yeah, thank you. Like, we get competitive with sort of who has the most records, but we're always trying to push each other to do the best they can in, like, the particular record.
Yeah.
It's like one of the hardest psychologically is the longest duration balancing objects on the chin.
Right.
Because when you start getting up to the hour mark, and it's like balancing something hurts a little bit, and it gets slowly like worse and worse. And then with those ones, you're talking about for the last half an hour or hour in some cases, it's just agony.
Wow, must be.
And, yeah. Without having him there to help me, and like I like to think I'd do the same for him as well. I don't think I would have managed it.
That's amazing. Now, have you got any pets at all?
Yes, 2 dogs, little Pomeranians, the most masculine dogs you could possibly imagine.
Beautiful. Imagine you're teaching them to balance about 10 cats on their head. Have you started to think about using your pets?
No, not yet. I've got them used to heights, so who knows? Maybe they'll get on a chair one day.
Britain's Got Talent.
The new kid in the chair balance.
Yeah. Back to BGT with the animals. They love the dog things. And so,
yeah, exactly.
Well, mate, I'm really chuffed. And what have you got planned? I mean, once we're out and about again, you got any plans for next year? Because you were in Panto in 2020, but it was taken from you, so for obvious reasons. So, what have you got planned, or what are you talking about for 2021?
Well, hopefully getting back on the ships. I was going to do my first contracts for Disney this year, but that unfortunately all got cancelled.
Yeah.
Coming up to the day, just because everything was locked down. And then, so hopefully I'll get back on the ships. I have 8 pantomime, hopefully, sort of earlier part of the year. If that all goes ahead, it'll be great to be part of my first pantomime.
Brilliant.
And yeah, just see how things come. Because if you asked me a year ago where I would be now, I don't think I would have expected half the things that happen. So just looking forward to things as they come.
And I probably wouldn't be doing a podcast if it wasn't, because I'm always on the road and never would have thought of doing a podcast. But this came out of the situation we're in. And you've probably broken a lot more records because of it as well. So at the end of that tunnel that we all come out of very soon, at least we had a little bit of a journey and broken some records in that tunnel, which has been a crazy journey, but it's kept us sane, hasn't it, Jay?
Yeah, and it's new experiences. And I have to say, I've been loving listening to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I was about to start planning your dad for December, but he's away for 6 months now. He's out on a cruise ship, isn't he? He's one of those first acts to get booked on a ship again for 6 months. And where is he? Is he in Singapore? Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, but the rates are lower. But he has internet, so if you ever want to give him a ring, feel free.
Yeah, we spoke the other day, so I'm going to try and plan to do that. We can do it over the internet. It'd be nice to get his on there as well. But Jay, thank you for your time, mate. I appreciate it. And,
thank you.
Can't wait to work with you. It won't be long. So
yeah, hopefully.
Get back
See
out
you
there.
there on the circuit.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Love to Mum and the dogs, the Pomeroys.
Yeah, love to the family.
Thank you, buddy. You take it easy and well done. Jay Rawlings.
Okay. Take care. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Eyes and Teeth. Thank you, Jay. Great young talent, and he's just getting started. I feel excited for these young acts as the business out there is tough, but it's kind of fun finding your own way and making it happen. Check out Jay's videos on www.jrawlings.com. Find him on Facebook as Jay Rawlings and Twitter at J_Rawlings. Today's comedy quote comes from record breaker and entertainer Roy Castle. Don't whine, laugh. What more can you say? Thank you, Mr. Castle, we miss you. Eyes and Teeth is written, produced and hosted by Steve Hewlett. Vocals by Lola, Larissa and Nina Hewlett. Additional vocals by Rich T. Eyes and Teeth, music and jingles are produced and performed by the one and only Mr. Kevin Dean. Join me on the next Eyes and Teeth Future Stars when I will chat to another top upcoming talent. That is Tommy J. See you soon.